Hello, welcome to Region Weather Live, your YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. I'm meteorologist Brad Warner. And here we are Sunday night. We've got a little bit of snow moving through South Dakota, spreading to the northeast. And that eventually that's going to be bringing several inches of snow across northeastern parts of Minnesota. So we'll take a look at that. And then as we go through your Thanksgiving week, we're looking at cold temperatures with a few little shots of snow here and there. So we're going to go on and take a look. And sure enough, as I said, we've got that snow across South Dakota spreading off to the northeast as this little system quickly moves through and spreads across my face there. And notice we have a winter weather advisory for portions of northeastern parts of Minnesota. Snow accumulations 2 to 4 inches. Some areas, as we get kind of right along that north shore, could be 3 to 6 inches. And I'll kind of give you an idea what I'm looking at as far as snow accumulations by the time this is all said and done. But then you also notice a little bit of gust behind it. We're looking at 25 to 30 miles per hour. Nothing big, but still as this kind of spreads on up to the north and east, especially the higher winds should remain further south, but still we're going to be looking at the snowy conditions, obviously, but also the reduced visibilities a little bit. But the main threat's probably going to be the slippery road condition. And wouldn't you know it, the models do show that snow spreading across South Dakota. And as we move this along through the overnight hours here Sunday night, you can see how that snow kind of expands and increases in intensity as it gets into the northern Wisconsin, northeastern parts of Minnesota. Some of those higher intensity type of bands there across the Arrowhead region in the far northeastern part of Minnesota. Now, this is around 3 to 4 a.m. time frame. Now, once you get beyond that, to 6 to 7 a.m., Monday morning, still a little bit of snow left over up there in the northeast, but it quickly moves out for the most part, maybe left with a little bit of flurries going into 9, 10, and then into noon, maybe a few flurries lingering into the afternoon across the far northeastern part of Minnesota. But really, that's about it. Most of the snowfall is going to be through the overnight hours here Sunday night into the early parts of Monday morning. And how much snow exactly we're looking at? Well, a trace to 1 inch in a wide variety of areas from Grand Forks to Fargo, Aberdeen, Watertown, Sioux Falls. I think you're going to miss it. Maybe Pierre Rapid City, perhaps even the Twin Cities could get some dusting of snow out of this. But largely, the higher snow accumulations are going to be further to the north, 1 to 3 inches, kind of around Duluth and spreading westward into west central parts of Minnesota. Could actually get maybe up to 3 inches of snow if it hits right. Like I said, the higher intensity stuff is really going to be in the far northeastern parts of Minnesota, where 3 to 6 inches is going to be possible, maybe even just a little bit more across this far, just the tip of the Lake Superior section up and through there. And again, most of it's going through the overnight hours Sunday night into early Monday morning. And looking at those wind gusts through the overnight hours, this is around midnight here Sunday night. Again, most of it into southern parts of South Dakota. Mostly by this point, the higher intensity type of snowfall is starting to move into northeastern parts of Minnesota. So perhaps a little bit off the lake, you can see some higher wind gusts. And of course, that's where we're going to be seeing a little bit more snowfall potential up there as well. As we get to around 7 a.m. and noon to 1 p.m. again, most of that heavier or stronger winds kind of south of the higher accumulating areas. So not really expecting a whole lot in the way of reduced visibilities just because of where the different locations are between the higher wind gusts and the higher snow accumulations are. And then as we get into Monday night and into early Tuesday morning, perhaps some wind gusts into the far northeastern parts of Minnesota kind of spread in through there. So maybe the roads get a little bit more slippery through the overnight hours once again Monday night, just as we get a little bit of drifting going on there. Now beyond that, through the remainder of your Thanksgiving week, we've got just these little quick hitters. So here's Tuesday afternoon, maybe a little snow moving from northwest to southeastern parts of North Dakota into parts of Minnesota. Not really expecting a whole lot out of that one coming in. And we've got this big, deep, high pressure settling in. And that's, of course, going to bring in reinforcement of some colder air as we get into Thanksgiving Day itself. looking pretty dry for Thanksgiving, but like I said, we've got this high pressure trying to settle in, so of course it's going to be on the colder side, especially as we start off our mornings, Thursday morning and Friday morning. Here we are Friday night into early Saturday morning. Again, perhaps another little quick hitting system moving through. This one's getting a little bit further out there, so I'm not real confident on this one just yet. Just keep in mind that we might see a little bit of snowfall across the Dakotas, southern parts of Minnesota as we get through Friday night and in through Saturday. Again, pretty quick moving through. If we do see any accumulations, maybe it'll be in the 2 to 4 range, the way things are looking right now. And otherwise, the remainder of the weekend is just looking cold, maybe a little bit of wind as we get into Sunday and on into next Monday. And so just to give you an idea what we're looking at for temperatures through the week here, your Monday highs, we're going to be struggling to get into the double digits up here in the northwestern parts of North Dakota. Otherwise, many areas are going to be struggling to get above freezing across much of our area, only until you get to the southeast and southwestern portion of our area where we're going to be getting into the mid to upper 30s possibly. Tuesday morning lows, single digits in the northwest to maybe the mid 30s in the far southeast. High temperatures for Tuesday again, struggling to get above freezing for much of our area where we're looking at teens in the far northern parts of North Dakota to maybe 40 down in the far southwestern parts of South Dakota. Wednesday starts off chilly. Look at this. We're going to be below the donut up here in the northwestern parts of North Dakota. Teens and single digits across the remainder of our area to start off our Wednesday. High temperatures Wednesday in the teens in the north to maybe 35, 38 degrees in the far southwest. But once again, many areas not going to be getting above freezing for Wednesday. And then Turkey Day, like I said, we've got that big high pressure system that settles on in. And of course, we're going to be starting off our Turkey Day in the morning with many areas below zero. Look at this, teens below zero up in the northwestern parts of North Dakota. Many areas across North Dakota going to be below the donut, single digits to maybe some double digits in the far southeast. So of course that means our high temperatures for Thursday, unfortunately, are going to struggle in some areas to even get into the double digits across northern parts of North Dakota. Teens, 20s, many areas across our region, maybe getting above freezing in the far southwest down there in the banana belt of South Dakota. And then of course, Friday morning lows, we're still going to be below the donut for many areas across North Dakota, single digits otherwise, and still Friday morning, single digits for highs in the north, teens to maybe 20s across the south. So there's your Thanksgiving week forecast. The good news is high pressure, not a whole lot of snow probabilities. The bad news is high pressure, cold temperatures this time of year. So you take with the good with the bad and you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. All right, everybody, for Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.